Hello there. So this podcast will show you how to do three things. How the observer sets up the initial observation, how the observation takes place, and then how feedback's provided. So first of all, the observer logs on to school IP and go to My Staff. Now they need to choose the member of staff they're going to observe. If they're not on the list, speak to Danny Wong or Mark Farrimond to get the right permissions. So we're going to observe Billy Blogs, and then we click on the work area here. So what we're going to do, at the moment you can see there's no observations. Bill has been set standards and also an objective. So I'll simply click on the plus over here, and it's the overview. Now for MCA staff, this is the one you want to use, the lesson observation performer, and I'm going to call this November formal obs, and you can set a date as well. So I'll set today's date. Observer, choose yourself from the list, and then purpose, so it'll just choose formal observation. Now in here you can also add a comment, so it might be perhaps from a previous observation you could agree that you were going to look at assessment for learning or another aspect of teaching. So you could put in here focus on AFL, and you click on add. That now sets the observation, and it will also appear on the dashboard of the member of staff who's being observed. So I'm just going to stop there and just pause the podcast if you want to do that too, to recap on what to do. Welcome back. So the second part of this podcast is to show you how the observer should enter the observation details. So this is done, it could be done on a laptop, but also on a tablet to make things easier. So you simply click on the date here on the observation, and this is where you complete the form. So you can start to fill this in. So I'm going to look at computing. You can choose the year group, purpose, form, observation, subject, obviously creative arts, number of students, you can enter that number in the class. And then you start to fill these forms in. So in this case, there isn't a co-observer, but if perhaps SLT were doing a paired observation, you put that there. And you can start to fill in strengths, SMSC and so on, ones that are relevant, as many boxes as you want, reading, writing, communication, and so on. Student comments, that might be you choose a sample of 3 students and what they had to say if you're asking them about progress in learning. And then down here, you should ignore observer comments here. Areas for development, leave that for now. That's what you provide at feedback. And then teacher comments, you can leave that as well. So you finished your observation. What you need to do, obviously do provisional grading, and then you need to do save. Okay, that saves the information prior to feedback. Okay, so I'm going to again close this, or pause this podcast for a few seconds for you to go over that. So finally, you provide feedback with member of staff, hopefully the same day, and you can go through the notes that you've made here, and you can also start to add areas for development with the member of staff there. So obviously with discussion, so you simply click on plus. Again, you can leave that as all. Areas you might decide that they're going to have a look in, they'll be looking at assessment for learning, so perhaps they're going to be looking at peer assessment strategies. And down here, who could they go to, when, or when by, setting a date on this, and maybe there's some other external training as well. Okay, you need to click here that it's in progress, this particular area of development, and set a due date. Now at the moment it's the end of the year, but you might decide that you're going to go and see the teacher again in December, so you can simply decide a date in so many weeks time. You click on add. Now you can have several areas of development, obviously don't recommend more than 3 for one lesson, and these will come up at subsequent observations, so you can see the commentary on teaching over time. Now this box here, teacher comment, because I'm logged on as the observer, I can't type anything in here, but the member of staff who's being observed can, if they want to, put that in there. Agree the final overall grading, which is observed practice. You can save this and come back to it later on if there's a disagreement or if you want some time to think about it. But as I say, it's a good idea to have two laptops open for the teacher to put a comment in if they want to, but they don't have to. When both parties are happy, when the grading's been made, errors to development identified, they click on submit, and that is now fixed in the system. So there you go. Thanks for listening.